I was going to Roosevelt Junior High School, and a lot of bloods used to come up to the school and run them everybody home. You know, and I used to wonder, you know, what's happening? What they running everybody home for? Well, it's skating ring, partner.
Today, we're going to talk about one of the most legendary and controversial figures in the history of Compton street culture, Kenneth Turtle Johnson. Now, to some people, Turtle was simply a neighborhood kid who became a leader. To others, he was one of the most feared and respected figures Compton had ever seen.
Turtle was powerful. You know what I'm saying? Every time I think of that Malcolm X movie, remember when he went to the police station?
Yeah.
And he said, look out that window, and all the Muslims was out there posted. And they say that's too much power for one man to have. That's my perception of Turtle.
His name became so well known that decades after his death, people are still making documentaries, YouTube videos, and doing interviews trying to understand who Turtle really was.
Yeah, I'm in here, baby. Drop it like it's hot, baby.
Turtle grew up on the east side of Compton during a time when the city was rapidly changing. The late 60s, early 70s were a very different era. Many neighborhoods were experiencing economic decline, schools were struggling, and street organizations were beginning to form throughout LA County.
My buddies used to, ask me what I'm doing coming from that way. You a Piru? I say, no, man. And I get stopped on the other side of the street. They ask me if I'm a Crip. And I say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So I was in the blind. I didn't know what was what. Till a couple of guys told me, Piru's over there, Crips over here,
Before Santana BLOCC existed, Turtle was reportedly associated with the neighborhood group known as the Oak Park Boys. At the time, many of these neighborhood groups were less organized than the gangs they would eventually become. They were often groups of local friends growing up together and defending their blocks. People who knew Turtle often described him as a highly intelligent, very charismatic, and naturally influential. Even as a young man, he reportedly had leadership qualities that caused others to follow him. Those qualities would later help shape one of Compton's most recognizable neighborhoods.
Me and my little brother, we didn't know nothing. We knew. After a while, we got to going along, getting used to it. So we started being in the street gang too. Crips.
One of the key figures in early Santana BLOCC history was Kim Bullet Tate.
I just want to tell y'all what I remember about my friend Kim Tate before we lost him, bro. Bullet, cuz he was nice, cuz he was polite. He was small in size, but looked like a superhero in a comic book, cuz him and his brother Ken.
According to long-standing accounts, Bullet wanted to unite two neighborhood groups, the Midtown Group and the Oak Park Boys. Before those plans could fully develop, Bullet's life was taken from him in 1979. After Bullet's passing, Turtle became one of the people who helped carry out that mission. The two groups eventually merged and became what would be known as Santana BLOCC. This will become one of the most influential sets in Compton history. Many people believe Turtle's leadership was one of the main reasons Santana grew so quickly during the late 70s and early 80s. As the 80s began, Compton was becoming one of the most talked about cities in America when it came to street activity. The C's were going at it with the Pirus, and that was just increasing. Neighborhood rivalries were becoming more serious. According to many accounts, Turtle became one of the most visible leaders associated with Santana BLOCC during this period. Former members have often described him as someone who commanded respect, without necessarily having to yell or threaten people. His reputation was built on leadership, relationships, and influence. One of the most fascinating chapters in Turtle's story happened during the 1980s when a British television crew came to Compton. This is where I personally remember first hearing about Turtle.
The leader of the Santana Block Crips is 24, a drug peddler. He's been a gang member since he was 14. Kenneth Johnson, known as Turtle.
Most Americans had never seen an in-depth documentary about Los Angeles gang culture. People outside California knew very little about what was happening in neighborhoods like Santana Block. The BBC documentary, no, not that BBC, you dirty mother effer, the British Broadcasting, whatever the C stands for, featured members of Santana Block and helped introduce international audiences to the realities of life in Compton. This was a major moment. Think about it. Today we have YouTube, we have podcasts, we have social media. Back then, none of that existed. For many viewers around the world, this was their first real look inside an American street gang. I remember seeing this documentary. I'm sure some neighborhood kid I was hanging out with had the video and we watched it. But I knew who Turtle was when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I also grew up with a lot of people who lived in Compton, so they would also tell me about these popular figures. And Turtle was a name that I heard over and over and over again before YouTube was even a thing, before podcasting was even a thing. I knew the name Turtle and I knew the name Santana Block from this documentary. Turtle appeared as one of the most recognizable faces that was connected to Santana Block. The footage captured not just gang members, but everyday life in the neighborhood. Many historians of street culture consider that BBC footage an important historical record because it documented a period before gang culture became a constant topic in the media. Decades later, clips from that documentary are still shared everywhere. As Turtle's reputation expanded, stories about him began spreading throughout LA County. Some stories portrayed him as a strategic leader. Others portrayed him as a feared street figure. Still, others described him as someone who genuinely cared about people in his neighborhood. The reality was probably a mixture of all three. One thing almost everyone seemed to agree on is that Turtle was respected. You don't hear many former members speak about him casually. Even decades after his passing, many still refer to him as OG Turtle. That level of respect doesn't happen by accident. It usually means the person left a major impact on their community. The early to mid 80s, what a time. They were some of the most roughest periods in Southern California history. Crack was here. And all the street organizations were intensifying, trying to figure a way to make as much money as they can without getting caught with this little white rock. And young men, specifically and especially, not just specifically, especially young black men, were dying at alarming rates. Many neighborhood leaders found themselves trapped in a cycle of retaliation and conflict. And Santana Block was no exception. See, Santana Block was involved in numerous rivalries during this period, and they were surrounded by the enemy. Tensions remained high, throughout the 80s. Like many influential gang leaders of the era, Turtle's name became associated with both leadership and controversy. In 1989, Turtle's life came to an end. According to commonly repeated accounts, he was ambushed in Compton. His passing shocked many people. Not because this type of thing was uncommon. It was happening all the time back then. But because Turtle had become such a major figure. When someone that influential passes, rumors begin immediately. Over the years, numerous stories have circulated about what happened. Many former members have debated the circumstances. Some accounts conflict with others. But what remains clear is that his death marked the end of an era. Even today, people still discuss exactly what happened and why. After Turtle's passing, Santana Block continued to exist and remained one of Compton's most recognized neighborhoods. New generations came along, new leaders emerged, but many older members continued to compare later eras to the period when Turtle was still alive. That happens in many organizations. The founding generation often becomes legendary. For Santana, Turtle became one of those legendary figures. His name became part of neighborhood history. And years after his passing, family members, former members, researchers, and documentary creators continue telling his story. In recent years, Turtle's story has experienced renewed interest. Several independent filmmakers, YouTubers, historians, and former gang members have released interviews and documentaries discussing his life. Some focus on his leadership, some focus on Santana history, others focus on the myths and the mystery surrounding his deaths. These documentaries have introduced Turtle to younger generations who were not alive during the 80s. As a result, his name remains one of the most recognizable names associated with old school Compton gang history. Whether someone views Turtle as a neighborhood leader, a controversial figure, or a product of his environment, there's no denying his historical significance. His story is also a reminder of how many talented people from that era lost their lives. Many people who knew him believed he possessed leadership abilities that could have taken him in many different directions. Instead, his life became intertwined with one of the most turbulent periods in Compton history. For better or for worse, Turtle became a legend. And nearly 4 decades after his passing, people are still talking about him. I'm going to play a few clips of some interviews I've done in the past of people who have discussed Turtle on my program. Crip Sag, shout out Crip Sag, an original member of Santana Block. The Hood Postman, Melly Mel, another Santana Block OG who was there at the beginning. My boy Alonzo Williams from World Class Wrecking Crew, Compton native, musical pioneer, also remembers Turtle in this clip I'm about to play. And last but not least, Reggie Wright Jr., Compton police officer who knew the streets and knows the streets of Compton like very few people do. Check out these clips and please hit that like button. That documentary is a very popular documentary and talking about I think it came out in 84, was it?
Yes, it's called
Gang City.
Gang City.
Is it true that that documentary, it was really to uncover the gang violence that was going on because the Olympics were in town?
That part is true. What they did around the world, the media had put the world on notice about the Summer Olympics being awarded in 1984 to the city of Los Angeles. So in the minds of the world, they're thinking, well, they got a huge gang problem in that city. You know, how will we be protected? Will it be safe? Are we secure? You know what I mean? Because you're thinking we're here, we're seeing it one way, but around the world, we don't know what the media is telling these guys. So what happened, the BBC put together a film crew, a documentary crew, and they came over, and when they did, they hooked up with a detective from OSS. His name was Graves. So they asked Graves the question, out of all the Crip gangs and everything, who he saw is the most dangerous and who would represent, be seen as problematic. So he quickly, I don't know why he said it, but he said the Santana Block Crips. So when he tell this guy, the guy say, hey, well, that's who I need to talk to, you know? So he brought him over. So the guy, when they rose up, man, we all out on Spring Street.
Yeah, how did that happen? I got to hear this story, yeah.
So me, Turtle, and the rest of some of the homies I just named, a bunch of us, Kizzy, Mondo, Bad Habit Rabbit, Twin, Gertchie, Primo Pete, just to name a few, right? Even Tanner Mike, a bunch of guys out there, right? Just, you know, because on a day-to-day, that's what you saw, man. Anywhere from 20 to 50 guys hanging out, you know what I mean? Because we had two houses, one front house, a back house, and another house across the street at that time. Or the house across the street came later. So, but anyway, we were congregating out there, you know what I mean? So the guy pulls up, man. The guy name was, if I remember correctly, was James. And he put up and he said, and he jumped out. He said, "Hello, mate. My name is James." English guy, right? And we looking at him. He say, "I'm looking for Toto." Toto.
Wow.
You know, and me and Turtle sitting there looking at each other like, man, who's this dude? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And we see the OSS, so we think it's all a trick. So the OSS dude asked the man, was he all right? Was he okay? He had all his camera crew and his film people there. And he told the guy to go ahead. I got these chats. I talked to him. It'll be okay. So the sheriffs left.
Damn.
You know, they left. And we sat there chalking it up. So the guy was trying to, you know, it took him a while to convince us to do the documentary, right? It wasn't like we just jumped up and said, okay.
Yeah.
You know, after some back and forth and some money negotiated and stuff like that. So it was worked out. And we wound up doing it. He hopped in the lowrider with me and Turtle. For those who don't know it, that's me in the car with Turtle. As he doing the interview, he mentioned my name in there. And then we were at the skating ring when the girl asked him, "That Turtle in there?" He's, "Yeah, baby, it's me. Drop it like it's hot." And when he tell the other guys, skating ring partner, that's me and him all right there.
That's a meme in itself, I think. That's literally a skate ring partner.
Yeah. Skating ring partner. You know, so that's me and Turtle right there together, man. And so the guy, we took him to the skating ring. We took him to Florence in Maine, where we got pulled over by the highway patrol. They was running our numbers because we had lowriders. Back then, you know, lowriders were known for having parts that didn't necessarily belong to the car. You know what I mean? So, you know, so they was running numbers and stuff. Everything came back legit. They wrote a couple of tickets. Turtle took the ticket right there in front of the cameras. If you go back and look at it, he tore the ticket up right in front of the police and the camera in the world right there and threw the ticket away.
Damn.
Freddie Stays and Turtle were the two that my dad was always saying was treacherous. Was he gave the utmost respect to. And so everybody done heard of Turtle, and of course the twins and all of that. And that's the guys of Santana Block. A guy named G-Ray. G-Ray was a killer. That was one in my era. He was from Acacia Block. But his brother got killed by the CB7Os, and boy, he used to let those 7Os have it. On the Pyru, the blood side, of course, I go into the little more era of James, Mob James, on the Pyru, or Victor Welch, which is Rick James. Huncho came around, but they were all doing major and big dog time things. Then as a street cop, you didn't really deal with guys that was on that level because they were like working at the car wash or hanging at the car wash and all of that, and you had to be able to get to them by doing it right or getting search warrants and stuff like that. And so that was mainly the guys that Lonzo know that was on that side on the team. So they had a little bit more juice, and they weren't just the regular street cops like the Baileys and the Gil Cross. Of course, my father Reggie Sr., the Percy Peardons, the Uri Taylors, and stuff like that. But to be honest, I do other people, injustice. Like a Keefe D, and people like that, because I mainly only speak of the people that was in my era, which was really like early 90s, late 80s, where these guys pretty much was in the penitentiary by that time, because that rock cocaine era, it took a lot of brothers out. Y'all just don't know. Those dudes in the 80s, I can't think of one that made it unscathed. They out now. The good thing about it, all of them out, from the Tweets to the JJ, all of those dudes like that, JJ Ransom and Tweet, which was his brother, and all of them, Pat, all of them, they were the ones that had all the money back in the late 80s or the 90s or the mid 80s. But they all home now, which is a good thing. But it took a lot of their time out.
I was also in that documentary. That documentary gave Compton a face. You know what I'm saying? People always heard about Compton, but when that particular documentary came out, it just put the face to what they heard. And Turtle was, man, that dude was powerful. You know what I'm saying? Every time I think of that Malcolm X movie, remember when he went to the police station?
Yeah.
And he said, look out that window, and all the Muslims was out there posted. And they say that's too much power for one man to have. That's my perception of Turtle every time that I think of that movie, because he brought people together that could nobody else bring together, man.
Wow. Skating ring partner.
Partner.
Man, this dude has been in a few documentaries. I've seen him in one just by happenstance. Remember last year I told you I watched Bloods and Crips Made in America?
Yep, I was in that too.
Yeah, so.
See, it was the death of Kim Little Bullet Tate. The death. It was his death that brought everybody to the same page, man. When he was killed. I don't think Cuz was in the hood advocating that we come together and this, that, and all that. I don't think Cuz was in the hood trying to orchestrate anything like that from the time that it started up until, because it started in 75. I ain't gonna say that the beginning of 75, that beef with the Midtowns and those, because that's when I turned Rose Street, cuz. That's when I became Mad Sad, cuz. This is all 1975. I remember it like the back of my hand. Cause like I told the homie, I said, cuz, me and Boo Boo was in Nellis together when the hood fell under Santana. Me and Boo Boo both was happy, cuz, that the hood wasn't fighting no more. Me and Boo Boo was. And I used to tell Boo Boo, cuz, when I get home, cuz, we gonna hook up, cuz, blah, blah, blah. Cuz Boo Boo remember the stand I took back when it first went down. Boo Boo remembered all that. I never got a chance to see him because he got killed before I got home. Because he got killed before I got home, cuz. But I ain't never known Kim, cuz, Bullet to be a gangster, cuz. Shooting at niggas with guns and all that. I ain't never known cuz for that, cuz. Never, homie.
Thank you for tuning in to Dusty Vision TV. Please hit that like button if you have not already. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, you just might appreciate this bonus clip I'm about to play for you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line from Northside Long Beach, I have Sleepy. What up, man?
What's good with you? What's good with you, man? Appreciate you having me on. Enjoy your content, man. Keep doing your thing.
Most def, man. Appreciate you joining the show. And I know you have a podcast you and one of your partners are working on. We're definitely going to get into that later, but I want to take it all the way back, man. I want to get to know Sleepy, get to know your life and all that. So let's go all the way back to the beginning. Give everybody a breakdown of where you grew up.
Wow. I have to go back into the memory bank. First off, man, I grew up on the north side of Long Beach. My hood is called Boulevard Mafia Crip. And it's kind of a unique situation because I gravitated to the homies from Compton. So I read Compton, but at the same time, it's Boulevard over everything. And as far as my younger childhood, that was kind of like, crazy because I spent 9 years in foster home, in and out of juvenile halls. I was in McLaren Hall. I actually got a lawsuit against them. So it was kind of crazy until my mom settled down in North Long Beach.
Okay. Talk to me about foster care. What was that? I'm assuming it was a rough time, but can you give us your experience being in the foster system?
It's crazy. Me and my sister, her name is Tanya. She's 3 years older than me, and we first got put into a foster home when I was 3 years old. And I have a vivid memory of what do they call them? The social workers taking us to the foster home that was in Palmdale, actually Lino, next to Little Rock, California. And I remember being in a car at 3 years old, crying, not wanting to go into the house or whatever, wanting to go back home to my mom. And it was like trying to convince me to come in. Like throwing a tantrum. And I took off all my clothes in the car. I'm like, I ain't going nowhere, But you know what? For those 9 years that I stayed with my foster family, and their name was Bill and Susan Smith, I couldn't ask for anything more. Actually, kind of wish I would have stayed because, I would have been more on a productive and positive path in my future. But that experience with them was lovely. Now, when we get into placements, boys' homes, McLaren Hall, that's when the story starts to get kind of like crazy and
I've heard a lot about McLaren Hall, so much so that they have several lawsuits against them from. Yeah. Can you break down your time in McLaren Hall and what you know about this lawsuit situation?
Well, yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I'm part of a lawsuit against them, and I was in McLaren Hall, 1981. My pops had just died, got killed actually, got stabbed, and so my mom I came back home after the 9 years in foster home. And for whatever reason, I got kicked out again, and I was only like 11 years old. So, went to children's court, juvenile court, and I met a guy that said he was in McLaren Hall, and he talked it up and said, like, well, we got this, we got pool, we got games, So as a kid, I'm like, oh, that's what I want to be. So, convinced my lawyer to tell the judge to, send me to McLaren Hall. Went to McLaren Hall. It was cool at first, but then I started seeing all the craziness, all the manipulation from the staff, orchestrating fights, abuse, shit like that. I had many fights in there that was orchestrated by staff. Seeing little people getting beat up by, because we had weights in there. So you had guys that was like, I believe it was from like a toddler, an infant, because we had infants in there too, all the way up to like what, 17, 18. Damn. Yeah. And it's a big, very big complex. And so you can have these guys of like 17, 18 with these big 22, size arms, bullying guys that was like 11, 12, just to shit and giggles, just to, amuse the staff. And that's the type of shit that was going on in there, and worse, because we had females too. We had 3 dorms for the guys, and we had 3 dorms for the girls. It was Tigers. It was, what was it? The Tigers, the junior boys, and the senior boys. And then for the girls, it was the Pixies, the junior girls, and the senior girls. And sometimes we had dances, we mingled, we had, co-ed events. But then when things started getting a little shady, you see the staff taking advantage of the young girls. It was crazy. It was like, at that time, you don't know. You're not really like, consciously aware of like, what was actually going on, but you felt like, something seemed right, So I witnessed all that.
Man, I hope you get what's coming to you and what you should get in that respect. Let's take it. Let's go back a little more. I want to know what Compton and Northside Long Beach was like in the 70s and early 80s through your eyes.
Okay, as far as the 70s, like I said, I was in and out of the foster home and boys' home. But when I used to come home to live with my mom for the summer or holidays, they moved around a lot because of her husband at the time, after my pops. He was a traveling manager at, I don't know if you remember, what was it called? Was it National Lumber or something like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So they used to like send him to different locations, different stores. So we lived in the jungles. We lived in the jungles when that those bloods over there was going, starting to rise up. Lived in Norwalk, lived in East Long Beach, and we lived in the valley. So we stayed all over a lot, and so I got to see, quite a bit, used to seeing guys with these member-owned jackets and these Godfathers, and I'm just thinking they like, either part of the Black Panthers or just like, just cool guys, and if you remember, or you heard the stories back then, the Black Panthers used to have a free lunch program. So,
yep.
I used to partake in that and enjoy that experience with that. But I like to say I grew up on both sides of the tracks because my foster parents, even though they were Black, they were middle class. And so they were very well educated. And so when I was with them, living out there in Little Rock, it was diverse, right? So, and surprisingly, the white people out there, they love to be gracious. It was like one of my first girlfriends was white. And I used to go over my white friend's house a lot. There were Native Americans out there. And like my second girlfriend, she was Native American. And so I never really had that racial that racist experience against me. Not until later on down the line. But I like, that's why I say I like to say I grew up on both sides of the tracks, because I experienced, well diverse groups of people before I moved to the hood.
Enjoy this beautiful sunset with me. DustyVisionTV, posted up live at the beach. Right here in my favorite city in the whole wide world, Long Beach. Came out here to pay some respect to beautiful Mother Nature. Beautiful day out here. Got my joint. Got a little drinky drink. Got my lady. And I'm just posted up. But what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a beautiful day out there. Have you ever got the chance to check out a beach sunset in person? If not, you're missing out. It's a beautiful thing. When the sun disappears into the sea and blesses the other side of the world with his brightness, the water changes a different color. I mean, it's actually my favorite time of day, is right when the sun sets, after it's all gone. When it's done, when it's about to hit nighttime, it's like a different color in the ocean. The sand looks different. I mean, if you've never experienced it, I know this all sounds foreign to you, but if you get a chance to go to a beach and check out a sunset with the one you love, I would highly suggest it. Checking out the doggies over there. Been coming to this beach ever since I was a kid. The water always calms me, always makes me feel at home. Always love the water. I don't really like going into the water too much, especially in Long Beach, because that water is dirty as a motherfucker, but it's beautiful to look at from afar. So we're gonna chill and enjoy this beautiful sunset. Looks like a lot of people are out enjoying it also. A lot of shit going on in this world right now. So when you get a chance to just get away and appreciate Mother Nature, it's a beautiful thing, man. This conflict that's going on overseas, I mean, everybody has an opinion on it, and I'm starting to realize that mostly everybody are not smart. No matter what side you're on, you're using the talking points that you hear from your favorite podcaster, or that meme you saw this morning, or that video you saw. Like, this thing is really making me start to doubt if the majority of human beings are smart. Like, did we ever evolve from Neanderthals? Look, we can all agree on one thing. Evil does exist in this world. And a lot of the stuff that's being done over there, or has been done, it's pure evil. But I don't know much about the conflict. I dive deep into it. I know the history. But even then, I still only know about 5% of what's really going on over there. Which is why I haven't really shared my opinion. You know, I try not to share my opinion with people in public, because it seems like no matter what side you're on, 50% of people are not going to agree with you, and then that's going to lead to something. Like, this thing is bigger. This thing is bigger socially. It's a big deal. It's something that's affecting families. It's affecting friendships. And that's why I come here to hang out at the beach, to get away from all that shit, dude. Turn on the news, it's BS. People dying overseas, people dying in the hood. R.I.P. to C Night from the Dove Shack, Long Beach legend. You know the song, Summertime in the LBC. This is C Night from the Dove Shack, getting dozed out, kicking to that Kings Park with all the homies. You know the song, right? Ooh, wintertime in the LBC remix. It's November. It was 80-something degrees today in Long Beach. That's why we pay high mortgage. That's why we pay a high cost of living, for that reason. Because right now, most of the country is freezing cold. And here we are, a beautiful day. I'm literally wearing a t-shirt. But R.I.P. to C Night last night. Apparently his candlelight vigil was shot up. That's right, and 2 women were shot at the candlelight vigil, allegedly, apparently. People at the vigil returned fire. It was just a mess, man. It was something out of the movie Colors. You guys remember the movie Colors? The scene where they were at the funeral. Some guys roll by, start shooting. They run out, start shooting. Like, this is still going on in 2024. But here we are. They got us focused on other stuff, man, when this shit is happening right here in our very own cities. I mean, you should be able to go pay respects to someone. And I was invited. Thankfully, I had something else to do that took way more precedence. So I didn't go. But I would have gone. I would have did a vlog, and I would have been involved in a shootout. And I'm 40-some years old. I am too old to be around or be involved in shootouts or anywhere where a shootout can occur. But sadly, we're in a day and time where you could be paying respects to someone, and someone comes by and does something to break that peace. Take a hit of my plug and play. What you guys know about the plug and play? This is my favorite vape right here. It's called the plug and play. Just how I said it, plug and play. It's the best hit from a vape that I've gotten. I've tried them all. It's the best hit. This right here is some Girl Scout cookie. One of my favorite strains. Fire hybrid. Whew, man. Just gave me a nice little jolt of energy. But yeah. R.I.P. to C Night. 52 years old, I do believe. Died from a stroke. 52 years old. It's a trip. We really have to take care of our bodies, guys. We have to understand that old saying that our body is our temple. And, you know, yeah, it sounds like BS when you're in your 20s or whatever. It even sounds like BS when you're in your 30s. But once you start hitting your 40s and 50s, gotta pay attention. Gotta pay attention. Pay attention to your body. Respect your body. Too many of our people, when I say our people, I'm obviously talking blacks, Latinos, have pretty bad health when we get up to a certain age. And a lot of us, black folks specifically, are passing away very early. Very early. So take care of your bodies, folks. Get your yearly physical. Yeah, this shit is boring. Shut up, Dusty Vision, blah, blah, blah. No, get your yearly physical, man. It's better to find something out early than it is when you're in stage 4, whatever. But look at that sunset, guys. she's almost getting ready to disappear on us. Till then, I'm gonna vibe out with you guys. Smell the roses, as they say. Enjoy the people watching. There's some really good people watching in Long Beach. You notice how the mood just changed? Look at that. Like, as the sun gets closer to disappearing, like the whole world just turned a different color. Now imagine being here. The water looked blue-ish just about 3 minutes ago. Now it's like a silver, platinum almost look. And that ball of fire right there, that beautiful sun, is doing its magic. No, I'm not high. I mean, I'm smoking, but no more or less than I always smoke. Let's just say that. So this isn't just high talk. This is real talk, man. If you get a chance to smell the roses, sit down, relax, and just smell the roses. Just look around and appreciate it. We move around too fast. We don't call people back when we say we are. Sometimes we may put work in front of family and things like that. But the older I get, the more I realize little things like this are so important. Just sit down for a couple hours. Just sit down. Not in front of a TV. Go somewhere, go outside, and just sit down. And just watch the world around you. Think about what people are going through. We all go through shit. Everyone has a story. Look at people, not like a weirdo. You know, I'm not talking being all weird with it and shit, but just analyze people, analyze human beings, analyze the way they walk, analyze the way they talk. And that will help you respect people a little bit more. Because that's another thing. The level of respect has just left the building. Respect is out of the window. Respect and customer service. Every time I go somewhere, they mess up my order. At least something. Something little thing. I ask for no mayo, they give me extra mayo. Like, you know, little things like that. But respect has definitely gone out the window. And it was very apparent at the people who shot up C-Night's candlelight vigil right here in the city of Long Beach. Summertime in the LBC. Sing it with me. Damn, it's hot than a mother. I'm smothering ribs with barbecue sauce. Booze get tossed if they reach across my barbecue grill. So continue to chill at Kings Park in the LBC. That's where you'll find me, hanging with my homies and my friends. We got the Coke and Hen. We got the Warren G and the twins. We got Warren G and the DPG. All come around to hear the Dove Shack G funk sound. All come around. I mean, that song is legendary, right? Doesn't get too much more legendary than that. And everybody all over not just the country but the world, that's a summertime anthem, just as much as Will Smith's summertime song. The thing about summertime in the LBC, if you're from Long Beach like I am, that's a year-round song. I'll play that shit in January. I'll play it in March. I definitely play it from June to August. So right now, the other side of the world is gonna have a beautiful sunset in about 5 minutes. And ours is gone. Isn't that a trip? Peace and love to the other side of the world. And peace and love to the city that I'm in right now. And Los Angeles as a whole, because Los Angeles is definitely... Los Angeles is not safe. Los Angeles is not safe. Pray for Los Angeles. Pray for the mental illness, the homeless, because that is a huge issue. Now, as the sun's starting to set, you can immediately notice the temperature change. 5 minutes ago, warm as fuck. I told you guys I'm in my shirt, but starting to just get a little nippy. Tad bit nippy. But I love it. And this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite time of the day. As the sun is slowly disappearing into the sea, the colors right now, like the sand looks a different color. I mean, it's one big mushroom trip. I'm not on mushrooms. I don't need to be on mushrooms when you live in an environment like this. It's so beautiful. And it's a trip that all that beauty, just a mile or so up the road, it's going down. It's going down in the inner city. I don't care if you're in the projects. I don't care if you're in the hood. I don't care if you're in Beverly Hills. Pull over and check out the sunset.
I'm at a crossroads every damn day, looking back at my past when I sleep. But living on the edge, not doing enough. Iniquity down to my feet. What do I do when I need a little food and I gotta get the money for the rent? Fall to my knees, pray to the Lord, come my son, he can give me some money, repent. What, thank you. I really love you, baby, so I spank you. Life is a wet straight fucking you up. Living in a prison, I'ma shank you. So what's love got to do with it? When it with my heart on my sleeve, I'm a foe. But she said she loved me, she wanted to hug me under my sheets, so it's get told.
And I spy with my little mind's eye dreams that are beyond what you can see in daylight, baby, ignore the rain. And everything gon' be okay.
Let's listen to Miss Pat right here on Club Shay Shay discussing how Joe Rogan, only one to help her out. None of her people. Remember the fist? We were all 2020? We were all Black Power and all that. Nah. Nope. Now one person checked on Miss Pat.
Wow.
That's because, we too busy thinking there's not enough space for all of us.
It happens all the time.
And it is.
We're too busy thinking there's not enough space for all of us. And that's a problem. That's a problem, ladies and gentlemen. That is a big problem right there. And this goes back, this is years of training. This goes back way back to why we're mentally charged like that. Oh, maybe if I help that person out, they're going to take my spot. There's enough money. There's enough fame for all of us. But we're afraid as a people that if I give you game, you're going to take my spot. Here's Shannon Sharp and Miss Pat breaking it down oh so nicely.
If I can help you, I'm going to help you.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see everybody on top.
It happened to me because I have a cognac. This is my cognac, Shea by Laportier. Laportier is poured in.
You want to give me a few bottles for my party?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will, no problem.
Y'all heard that?
Yeah, no problem. And I send it to a lot of my friends. Now, when they send me things, T-shirts or product, I post it. I said, my product, not one.
Not one. When I post my stuff on Facebook, when I post my stuff on Instagram, post my stuff on YouTube, it ain't black folks sharing it. Of course, and of course there are a few. And let me pull back because obviously I do have a lot of black supporters. But when it comes to the things that really matter, I haven't got much support from my people. Club Shay Shay, who has millions of dollars more than I do. whole different tax bracket is experiencing the same exact thing. Why do we do that, black folks? Huh? Who's the real enemy? Is it the pale skins? Or is it us? Are we our own worst enemy? Huh?
Not one.
Not one.
And I don't know why we like that. I don't.
Because sometimes we feel that if we get something, they lose something. Instead of, okay, well, he got it. Like, if somebody moves, like, I don't look at.
Instead of if he got it, maybe I can get it or he can help me. We can help each other. But we always talk about that unity crap. We are the most ununified group in America. I mean, it shows everywhere you go. We're the most ununified group in America.
Somebody, like, I live in a neighborhood, nice neighborhood. If somebody black, oh, what they doing over here? I don't look at it like that. I'm like, man, oh, okay. Somebody else got some money, making enough money that can live here. I don't look at it, or what they doing here. The same thing you do. It's a nice neighborhood, a nice school district. We well off. I don't know why we're like that, Miss Pat. I really don't.
Probably all the way date back to slavery.
Ooh, let me stop it right there. Could be dating back to slavery. You know the slave mentality is still alive today. I call y'all new slaves. But a lot of y'all are still slaves. I ain't no slave. But a lot of y'all are still slaves. And you carry that slave mentality. You know that slave mentality, right? House N-word versus field N-word. Huh? Dark versus light skin. We argue about who's prettier if they're darker or lighter. Excuse me.
That one Negro that meaning, that made
you
it
in the house, you in the fields. I'm better than you.
I'm better than you. I'm light skinned, you dark skinned.
Yeah.
It's
your hair is longer than mine, so I don't like you. Huh? My skin is darker than yours, so you think I'm less than. Huh? It's been going on since day one, man. Day one. And it's a sad situation that we can't even agree amongst each other that we're all beautiful. Nope. That light-skinned girl over there, she's much prettier because she's light-skinned. Where does that come from? That comes from us. And it all goes back to those slave days, man. The house N-word versus the field N-word. I'm just keeping it real. If we were back in 1850, I'd rather be a house N-word. Call me what you want. I'm not built for the sun. Look how light-skinned I am. I will sunburn outside. Y'all got any PF 60 here? No? You know I'm light-skinned. I shouldn't be outside. Can y'all put me inside, please? I'd be the best house N-word, house slave boy. I'd be cooking up. And don't think it was a little bit easier for the house N-word just because he got a little bit of shade. It was still hot. And the house N-word still had to serve the master's wife when the master went out of town. And you know what I mean by serve. Those house N-words were piping down master's wife. But don't think that was all fun and games, okay? I come from a long list of house N-words, and believe me, we didn't enjoy piping down the masters. It wasn't fun. We didn't enjoy piping the mat. You know how funky that vagina smelled back in 1833? Huh? When she lifted up, when the master went to town to go get his meat and his cheese and his cattle and bring it back, when he was gone for all them hours, slave master's wife was like, "Come here, nigga boy. Come here, N-word boy." And then she would lift up that colonial dress, that long dress that she was wearing, and the house N-word would just get a woof, woo, of that vagina. And they weren't shaving back then. Huh? They were probably taking showers once every other day, if that, once a week maybe. This whole taking a shower every day thing, that's new. That's something new. Back in the day, they weren't taking showers every day. Now think about it. I go 1 day without taking a shower. I'm a smelly mofo. Now imagine having a big old hairy muff down there. Look, I'm sorry. If you got any kids in the room, take them out. Imagine if, first of all, your kid shouldn't even be here listening to this. But imagine having a big old hairy muff down there that hasn't had any Dove soap ran through it, in the past 36, 48 hours. What do you think that smelled like? You think Master's wife wiped it down a little bit before she made the house N-word go down and do his thing? Come here. You come on now. Do you really think that? So stop saying the house N-word had it easier. We had it hard too, man.